Great. So we'll talk about mass email marketing. So what is mass email marketing and why is it different from spam? So mass email marketing is sending multiple people emails at the same time, usually targeting a particular audience or demographic. So if customers sign up for your newsletter, they're opting in. It's not the same as spam, where spam is totally indiscriminate. It's not specific to the recipient's interests. They haven't subscribed. Why do we use mass emailing? It's useful for targeting an already interested audience to improve our brand awareness, to advertise, to boost engagement. And what are the benefits of mass emailing? So even today in 2024, when a lot of people are using social media, or finding other ways to reach their customers, mass emailing provides a really significant return on investment, or ROI. So you get a lot of sales for a relatively small investment of your time and money. Litmus.com says that on average, every dollar spent on email marketing drives an ROI of $36, which is higher than any other individual channel, i.e. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So while the average is $36 to $1, the top email marketers are the most successful ones. The most successful fifth of email marketers receive an ROI of more than $70 per dollar spent, which is a huge ROI. Mass emailing enables us to speak to our customers more frequently and consistently than through longer form marketing campaigns, which take a long time to write and to launch, and it take a longer time as well to assess how successful they are, change our approach, and so on. So mass email tracking, which includes open rates and sales conversion analysis, enables you to gain an insight into what works and doesn't work with your target audience more quickly than through those longer form marketing campaigns. According to McKinsey, email marketing acquired 40 times more customers than Facebook and Twitter in a comparison with the average click-through rates for each channel. So email marketing had a click-through rate of about 3.5%, while both Facebook and Twitter had an even lower percentage. So Facebook's click-through rate was 0.0% and Twitter 0.03%. So that's a huge difference in terms of how many people are actually engaging with the message versus looking at it and scrolling past it. One of the reasons that email marketing is still extremely effective, even in 2024, when some people might think that email is becoming old-fashioned, is that the majority of people are starting their day by checking their email. So according to Opt-in Monster, 58% of people are starting their workday by checking their email, followed by 14% on social media, 5% looking at the news, 3% on their company intranet, and the remaining 20% on a lot of smaller slices of the pie. So this is a huge percentage of people who are opening their email first. And it's an opportunity for us to approach them in a way that's relevant, appealing, and personalized. So emails that are personal are significantly more likely to be opened and read. We can allow people, when they opt in, for example, to give us their interests. Let's say we're selling shoes. You might say, yes, I'm interested in children's shoes. No, I'm not interested in men's shoes. And therefore, we can reach out to that person already knowing what they're interested in and not bothering people with something that isn't going to appeal to them. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our use case, and I will share my screen. I hope you enjoy the color coding on this use case. I enjoyed choosing the colors. Okay, let me just check that that's visible. Okay, so here is my screen. And I would like to introduce our use case. So our use case today is an Easter event for the Future of Work Management, which is a regular event that we do offer in London. It's a real event. I think the Easter theme works well with our topics for the event, which are all about new beginnings, new ideas, growth, looking for hidden treasure, or hunting for Easter eggs. The event will be at the Menier Chocolate Factory, which is a venue we have used in the past. And what better place to have an Easter event than an old chocolate factory? My use case today is fictional, but we do have a real Future of Work Management event scheduled for 6th of June. So if you are interested in learning more about how to use Monday and how to optimize your business practices, please do come along. For our demo today, I'm using Monday Sales CRM. You can access the mass emailing feature from any board in Monday Sales CRM that has an email column. So you simply select the contact you want to send the email to, and you choose mass email from the bottom menu. So let's say I want to contact Larry here. I can click his name, the tick box next to his name, and then I can say mass email. Cool. And here the email comes up. I have integrated Gmail into this. You might have a different email provider. I am going to start by prompting the AI to write an email for us. So we have the ability to use our little AI assistant here. And I will write in my prompt. So here's my prompt. Please write a short email advertising an event, the Future of Work Management, for our digital management consulting firm, Omnitas. The event includes networking plus hands-on workshops from Monday.com and Make. It's on 5th of April from 1 to 6 p.m. and it's the historic Menier Chocolate Factory, 53 Southwark Street. The event is free and registration is via this link. Okay, so let's see what the AI generates for us. I have actually been to the Menier Chocolate Factory, and I am sad to say that it does not smell like chocolate, which I was pretty excited about and hopeful for. But sadly, I guess because it's been renovated, it does not smell like chocolate. Okay, so here is the suggested email from our AI assistant. So I'm going to copy this into the email. Okay, great. And now we have a template for our mass email. And now that we have a starting point from the AI, we can use dynamic fields to personalize the email. I'm going to use one to add a personalized name and another for the topic the person is interested in. So instead of writing dear recipient's name, we can use our dynamic fields and say dear pulse name. In this case, the name of the entity is, the name of the item is the person. We hope this email finds you well. We're excited to invite you to an exclusive event hosted by Omnitas. And maybe we want to make this even more specific and say it promises to be an insightful and engaging experience for what type of professionals. We can say this person has indicated what topics they're interested in. So we can say, in this case, it's going to be pulse status. So let's say this person is a B2B person. It'll insert their relevant title, relevant concept there. Okay, great. We can also, so now it's personalized with their name, it's relevant to their interests, and we can make the email more appealing by using HTML. So I can bold or italicize text. Maybe I want to do that with the Future of Work Management. So maybe I want to make that bold. Okay, great. I can also change colors, or I can add an image. In this case, I'm not going to make it super jazzy because I feel like it's a professional work email. We don't want them to be, feel like they're on MySpace in 2006. And if I like this email, I can add it to my template. So I can say, click template, save draft as a new template, and write maybe Easter template. Cool. And then I can reuse this, change it, edit it, and so on. Great. So why do we want to use HTML? We can use it for branding, for adding logos and such, and keeping things consistent. It makes things more interactive. It provides a better user experience and rich content. And it also helps with tracking. So recipients, delivery, open rate, and so on. So let's say we've sent this email. We would then get insight from looking at who would open the emails and how well that went down. So unfortunately, I can't show you a mock version through this demo because the people we're emailing here are not real. But I can show you some screenshots from our sales team's mass email marketing. I will just get that up. Apologies, just bear with me momentarily. Okay, here we go. Cool. So I will share my screen again. Cool. So here is an example of what that would look like when you use Monday for mass email tracking. Okay, so here we can see how many people received our emails, the delivery rate, and the open rate. And we can begin to draw insights from this information by testing different kinds of writing, different kinds of branding, and see what appeals to the audience and what works on them. So for a note of comparison, I mean, typically only 24% of sales emails are opened. So already a lot more people are opening our emails than the typical number. And we can go further with this and look at how many people are applying to our emails, how many people are clicking on certain links, and so on. So this enables us to improve our marketing on a continuous and routine basis. Just now that we've talked about what this looks like in Monday when we're using Monday's mass email features, I will give a little overview of the limitations. So here are our limitations. You can send a maximum of 500 emails at a time, and you can send a maximum of 2,000 emails per day when using Monday for mass emailing. And then you may also have additional limitations with your email host. So for example, Gmail or Outlook. In my case, I'm using Gmail. And as of March 2023, you can only send 2,000 emails per day on a paid G Suite account, while on a trial G Suite account, you can only send 500 emails per day. And if you exceed Gmail's limitations, they will penalize you by tagging the email as spam, and the email will go to the recipient's spam folder. So the person won't read it, and then there's no point in sending the email. I will give a little bit of a comparison with our competitors. So we're looking at the pros and cons of using Monday for asset emailing. How do we compare to other services. Monday is a lot less expensive than adding another additional solution, i.e. MailChimp and MailerLite. So for example, if you had to purchase a license for MS Office and MailChimp, this would be a lot more expensive than simply using Monday for the functions of MS Office and MailChimp. The other comparison would be MailerLite. Similarly, you would need to purchase an additional license and have an additional registration, subscription. Monday's mass emailing functionality now includes HTML, which it didn't before. So we're now slightly more competitive. But the main obstacle or the main appeal, I would say, of using a system like MailChimp and MailerLite is this spamming issue. So because Gmail has these thresholds of how many emails you can send in a day or in an hour before you're a spammer, MailChimp and MailerLite will get around this by sending the email sequentially to avoid the threshold. If you don't do this yourself manually when using Monday's email function, the email gets filtered as spam, it doesn't reach your audience, and it doesn't work. So you would have to manually configure this yourself by sending, under 500 emails per day, or, depending on which system you're using. You can do it, but it requires more thought and more like manual configuration on your part. It's not quite so out of the box. MailChimp and MailerLite also have built-in ways of dealing with soft bounce and hard bounce. So a hard bounce is the email address doesn't exist anymore. Soft bounce is an auto reply. So MailerChimp and MailerLite will automatically categorize and remove inactive email addresses, whereas on Monday, you would have to do that in a more manual way. You could use automations and things like that, but it wouldn't already do that for you out of the box. So on the whole, as a mass emailing platform, Monday requires more thought as a user, but it's also a lot less expensive. And of course, it provides many, many other services that these products don't. So these are some factors to consider when deciding how to structure your workflow. I've come to the end of my prepared material. I'll just see if anyone has any questions. Okay, cool. It doesn't look like we have any questions. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lee. And I hope to see you again in a future video where we do more Omnitas webinars. Please take care in the meantime and keep in touch. Goodbye.